lovers, the moon is a thing of beauty. But to this man it is a deadly curse. When the moon is full, this miserable wretch turns into a hairy, snarling half-man, half-beast. Prowls the night, his fangs thirsty for human blood. He is a werewolf.
Hello and welcome to the Werewolf by Night podcast, the show where we talk about Marvel's number one lycanthrope, Jack Russell, a.k.a. the Werewolf, a.k.a. the Beast, the Shaggy One. Sometimes he's Jimmy. I'm your co-host, Matt Howell.
I'm your other host, Jacob Balcom.
And we're joined today by our dear old friend, Brad Elmore. Hey, Brad.
How's it going? Happy to be here.
Glad you're back.
Best podcast ever.
All right, gents. Shall we pivot, as the business folks say, to the matter at hand, which is Werewolf by Night number 26, which has a pull date of February 1975. So this has a cover by the great Gil Kane, a lovely cover, in my opinion, and it has inks by Klaus Janson, which is a name that I associate mostly with more 80s kind of stuff. I kind of grew up on seeing him in the 80s and 90s. But Jacob, can you do any kind of a quick bio on him?
Yeah, I'm mostly familiar with him through the same projects that you are. It's basically like Frank Miller's Daredevil, and fucking Dark Knight Returns.
Yeah, okay. I was going to say those are the two first things that come up, and then he did some Spider-Man stuff in the early 90s, late 80s. But yeah, definitely associate him with Frank Miller.
Yeah,
same. He was around Marvel in the kind of like the late 70s, and that's where he hooked up with Frank Miller on Daredevil. And I guess kind of by the end of that run, it seemed like Klaus was doing the majority of the work. I think Miller's pencils were really, really rough at the end. Yeah,
just the layouts.
He turned a lot over, basically the entire art over to Klaus Janson. And those issues are just as good as Miller's. Like, they're just, as I'm sure you guys agree, they're amazing looking.
I totally agree.
I mean, he's done pencils and inks for like most of the major publishers. But it seems like, and he was working, I think he did some Daredevil issues maybe like 3 years ago. I mean, he's still working, but I don't know as much. And he does a lot of teaching. He teaches some classes at Marvel for the writers and artists. And he seems like a really cool guy. And he's worked on some really seminal stuff and stuff that was really a big impact on me.
Yeah.
So Marvel teaches their in-house talent, so you can be working at Marvel making comics and learning how to make comics?
I think it's more people trying to break into it, I think, is what I was reading.
Okay.
But yeah, he does other stuff. I think he might teach at the Kubert School, or I can't remember exactly. But yeah, he looked like he's done a lot of good stuff.
Would you say, you guys, in your opinions, that is this a Gil Kane layout and a Klaus Janson taking over the majority of this work here on this cover? Or do you think that Gil did a lot?
I don't know how much they trust Janson they're going to pay Gil's cover rate this early in Janson's career.
Good point.
To take over, but maybe between the two of them, they might have worked that out. Janson's probably eager to impress coming in. This is early Klaus Janson, for sure.
It seems like 50-50 to me. I mean, I get the feeling that, I see the Gil Kane layout, but I also see some Klaus Janson in there too. It seems equal to me. I don't know if I'm just making that up, but that's the feeling I get.
But it could also you just be retroactively knowing Klaus Janson's inks, because they are pretty distinct.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, the layout feels very Kane. Like, Kane's a master at these kind of designs. But something about the detail in here, as opposed to some previous months of Gil's work, maybe it's just Gil getting more excited about this one in particular and just nailing it out of the park. I don't know. But so the cover here, folks, is we're looking back from behind a character through his legs. And this character is holding a scythe and a hangman's noose. So there's a dead giveaway. And through his legs, we see the Beast beyond, crouched down, one claw touching the ground, kind of in a 3-point stance like a footballer. And he's growling viciously, and he has a very kind of like almost, we've said before, like when he kind of has that almost feline, like Puma, the character Puma, when he's in full cat form, that kind of a savage beast face. And he's just growling at the character that is in front of us. And I'm a huge fan of this cover. I think this cover is amazing.
The only thing that would make the cover better to really tie it into a lot of posters, especially like James Bond, which it seems to be a direct reference to, I can't remember which movie, would be as if the Hangman, and it would be in keeping with the character of the Hangman, was in high heels.
Yeah.
That'd just take it one step further. But I really like the cover too. It's really dynamic and cool. You know, it's a cover that the Hangman doesn't deserve. You know,
Yeah.
it's like, because like the way the noose is laying on the ground, and it's evocative of like this like character. Like it's like the assumption is you don't even need to see this guy. You just know who he is because he's so iconic. And it's like no, he's terrible. He's a boring villain. But you know, they do their best to spruce him up again. I take that back. He is not boring. He's a very strange villain. But he's certainly not iconic.
Not yet.
No, definitely not yet. But I will say, even before
I'm holding out hope, though. Someday we'll get that great Hangman story that's going to put him right over the top. You know.
Well, we do get one more in the run, and you know you're going to be on that one as a resident Hangman expert.
Yeah.
I don't care how you feel about it. It's a fact.
It's already scheduled.
And Jacob and I were kind of joking around earlier, like, you know, were they kind of realizing that this fad book that is sticking around, there's still enough sales to justify continuing to publish this thing monthly. So we should probably establish, you know, not have him kill every single person he meets, and kind of bring back build a rogues gallery. So I think this feels to me like it was kind of the beginning of testing out something. Like, there's a character in here that's been around for 2 whole issues and he's not dead yet. And then a guy came back from a year ago and he's still alive. Maybe this could be, like we were saying, like the Sinister 2, the Terrible Twos.
The Terrible 2, yeah.
And we're going to meet a character soon that is a recurring character. I think they were trying to build a rogues gallery and still not have it be goofy superhero drama, but have characters that come back again over and over. So we'll see. Yeah, I love the detail on all this stuff, and the inking on the fur from Klaus is amazing, and the noose is just, I mean, it's just the details beautiful in this, and the little bling on the scythe. Damn,
I know. That was one of my favorite parts too.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Not necessarily about an attempt to build a rogues gallery, but was thinking about how he doesn't have one yet at this point. You know, like. And that like that there's like certain issues the whole Werewolf comic is starting to butt up against harder than usual, which is just like the like, it's almost like this comic book has a problem, and that problem is, what the fuck do we do with the main character?
Mm-hmm.
You know, because Jack Russell as a character doesn't spend enough time Jack Russelling for us to know what Jack Russell loves or likes or does. His whole thing is just like this werewolf. Like, that's his whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then the werewolf doesn't have enough Jack Russell in it for us to track that character.
Yep.
And also the werewolf having no agency in that regard, but also doesn't seem to, again, my big gripe, the werewolf's not really scary or dangerous at all. There's nothing about the werewolf that's really fucking up Jack's program. You know, like it's not like, oh crap, I killed 3 people, or it's like just, you know, it just wants to get to the woods. It's once again, to which I suggest, why doesn't Jack Russell just move to the woods?
Whoa, and he has money. He has means.
Yes,
he did have his Verdugo Mountain hideaway for like 2 issues, which is a really good idea. And then, suddenly there's no more hideaway. So you're right. I think if he got something like more of a forest base back, it would be a lot more helpful.
And it seems to be the thing that the creature wants too. It immediately is like, every time it transforms, its first instinct is now to get to the woods. Once again, those famous LA woods. And he's not the Hulk, so there's no point where like, oh crap, Jax has a good thing going, don't turn into the werewolf now, it's going to screw everything up. He knows when he's going to turn into the werewolf.
Yeah.
It's the same time every time, and yet he just cannot corral this. Over 25 issues. It's like it makes it really hard to get behind the guy a little bit. Like you're kind of an idiot, Jack. Like you're maybe the idiot.
But he's 19.
Yeah, he is 19. Cut him a little slack.
No, everything you said, I completely agree with. It makes little to no sense because the guy could be out in the middle of nowhere. He would run around. He would take out an elk or two every, 3 nights of the month. And he's not wanting for anything. He had a food delivered between cycles of the moon. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, and from a writing standpoint, like story function standpoint, it seems like it's getting harder and harder to like they don't even try to justify why he accidentally becomes the wolf. They're just like, he's the wolf. And, it's almost like they have their main problem with the title is the main character, like how to figure him out to make those stories dynamic,
Mm-hmm.
And it's like the problem might not even be the rogues gallery. The problem might just be like this, they haven't quite figured out how to make him work monthly in a way that's like truly successful. And a lot of these like fun horror titles had that same problem. Like they're all cool and full of cool ideas and great art and all that stuff, but they don't have the Spider-Man longevity, even though a lot of them got really popular. It's because they really hadn't figured out how to like what this comic actually is. Like what are they building toward? What story are we telling with Jack Russell? Is it a horror comic? Is it a superhero comic? Is it a little bit of both? Okay, then how do we go from issue to issue, month in, month out, and logically extend the drama and build the stakes? Instead, it's just kind of like everything just falls in his lap. It's completely randomized almost. Or it's somebody who's just like in the long tradition apparently that this comic is set. It's just somebody's just like, I heard there's a werewolf. I hunt werewolves in some weird way, or I need. So it's like everybody just comes to him,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, gunslinger disease.
Well, I can move us on to page 2, which is, page 1 for you. It's, okay, so like we said, the title is A Crusade of Murder. Our creators for this issue are Doug Mensch, writer, Don Perlin, artist. Phil Rachelson is our colorist, and that's the first time that we've had Phil on the book. He's new to our book, and he's pretty new to Marvel. I think he'd been there about a year. And then we have Karen Pocock, letterer, and she would go on to do a lot of lettering work for Marvel, and also ended up marrying Bill Mantlo in the 80s. And I think she'll be on for a little while. I think we're going to see her name a lot on the book from here on out.
Well, do you approve of that? Because you have very strong feelings about letterers.
I liked the letters on this issue. I did. And yeah, I do. No, I like her work. I'm excited that she'll be around for a little while. And Ridiculous Roy Thomas is editing. And I think it's the next book that we're going to be going through on the show, Giant Size Werewolf 3. That is the last editing credit that Roy Thomas has on the Werewolf books, because he leaves. And then Len Wein and Marv Wolfman take over.
As editors.
Yeah, as editors.
Okay.
Len Marv.
Yeah, the Len Marv.
Len Marv, yes.
Yeah, they go into that in the Marvel Comics, The Untold Stories. They really go into that. I think it was, correct me if I'm wrong, Brad, but I think it was when I think Roy got wind that like Stan and Carmine Infantino were like kind of getting together and deciding what they were going to pay both their people. Yeah. So that because people were trying to be like, well, DC pays me this. So and so Stan was like, oh, fuck that. And so
they set up a trust.
Yeah, they did. They basically set up this agreement that they would pay the exact same. And when Roy heard this, he was pretty disgusted. And basically
so disgusted he left his editorial duties but continued to just write for Marvel.
He wrote and he got to edit the stuff that he did write. And yeah I know,
but it was a protest.
He took a real big stand and decided not to do this boring job and instead make more money having a bunch of titles.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
and no oversight. So
Roy.
it really worked out well for Roy the boy,
Yeah. No, it was a good move. It was definitely a good move on his part because, Len Wein says it was his worst job. He just hated it. I think he lasts a year.
Yeah.
He'll be editing the color comics. Marv Wolfman will be editing the black and white magazines for the most part, but both of them are gone fairly soon.
Yeah. Does Wolfman take over editorial duties after Len?
I think he does for a little bit.
For like 6 months or something, I think.
Yeah. Well, actually, I thought Jerry Conway had the shortest tenure, if I'm correct. I think his.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
His was just a few months.
Yeah.
I think because he's the smartest one out of the bunch, he was just like, oh, yeah, no. I'm not going to do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can't recommend enough that Marvel Comics: The Untold Stories. It's so good. I was reading.
It really is.
I was looking at that story in there. I had looked it up, and then I just kept reading. I couldn't put it down, and I've read it like 4 or 5 times.
Yeah, I read it prose the first time, and now I just throw it on as an audiobook for background noise. Every once in a while. Audiobook's pretty great.
Oh, I'll have to check that out. Yeah, one of my favorite books ever written about comics. So, anyhow, back to the issue. So we kind of pick up where we left off last issue. The Hangman has the beast in his noose. And it's fitting, I think, that this issue should start off with an insane rant by our returning villain. And I think we had talked about this on his last appearance. When I read his speeches, I basically hear the Mighty Monarch from the Venture Brothers. But it's the Monarch just screaming his lines even more than he actually does. And so that really helped me get into this book and really enjoy it after making that. Yeah.
I tone it down a little bit. It's like, it's a step or two back. It's Mark Hamill, Joker. Like, it's a little dialed back, but it's still a little unhinged.
Yeah, it's definitely unhinged, but I hear a more Butch voice, I
Well, that's what the Hangman hears too.
Yeah, like a more military, like Arlie Ermy type.
I was going to say exactly.
Yeah,
it has to be right. Steer queers.
But it's just he re-rants all the rants he had the last time. He just kind of it's like he gives his own Cliff's notes. Like it's a little bit more truncated. It was like, yes, the movies, this, but yeah, we'll get to that. But it's pretty funny.
Yeah, he's probably more like Hate, whatever that character from Venture Brothers is, right?
Oh yeah, word.
Yeah.
Is that Hate or no? Am I thinking of Doom Messiah?
Whoever you're thinking of, I know you're talking about the guy with the helmet.
And he has the does he have like the letter?
Yeah, and I think he has the giant H on him or something.
Yeah, somewhere. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, so again, he's giving an insane speech, and we're going to hear a lot of these, so we'll probably skip over this one. But I really loved what the narration said. I was really down with what Doug was writing this time. Mm-hmm. It says, first night, and the werewolf squirmed in awful agony. My mind struggled to assert itself through the haze of bestial domination, but it was no use. I was the werewolf, a helpless prisoner trapped within the fur-bristled flesh of a creature struggling in the throes of death. When the werewolf died, I'd be checking out with him.
I love that part.
It was awesome, right?
Yeah.
Like I read that, it made me really excited to read the issue. Like I was like, oh shit, that's the first stuff. I'm in.
Yeah, I was with you too, and I did have to flip back to the previous issue and note that this is, not like perfect mirror, but it is an inverse of the last page of the last issue, almost like a redrawing.
Yeah, I had to do the same thing. But yeah, it is. I actually really like this page. I love how the title, A Crusade of Murder, is kind of, built onto the building. And we've talked about how we like that when the title is part of the architecture of the page. And and that's an Eisner thing. I think he can lay claim to that.
Yeah, this isn't quite Eisner level, but I appreciate the nod toward the master. On the next page, we kind of get some more ranting. And I think even the Hangman's kind of getting bored with himself at this point. Like for instance, he says, "Squirm all you will, corrupt creature of darkness and depravity." It means nothing to the Hangman, nothing to the one man dedicated to eradicating corruption and depravity. Like, really? The source is like, what, 79 cents in 1975?
Yeah.
But there's a nice panel here, like the street lights spilling up on him as he's up on the rooftop, yanking on the noose. And, you get that weird underlighting, which makes it kind of a creepy effect on the face. It's a nice drawing there. And the Beast obviously doesn't understand a word that the Hangman's saying. So he's just thinking that this noose is like the smallest cage that's ever captured him before. And he's yanking on the rope. And then he swings up. I love this little bit of action here on the bottom half of the page. He swings up to a flagpole, grabs onto that, and then once he's rooted there, he yanks hard down on the rope and throws the Hangman down. So then he's switched positions and reversed the tables, which is kind of a funny, it's a pretty smart move for an animal.
Yeah. I also liked that him coming down then tightened back on his neck and brought him down with it, like a snap decision. Like, that was pretty cool. I do think it's funny, though, that the Hangman has caught the werewolf the second time in the exact same way that he did when we first met the Hangman, which is standing up on a high spot and just like slipping the thing around his neck. And it's just he's really on brand. He really sticks with his gimmick.
Why would you switch up? It's like fish in a barrel or werewolves in LA. Just
it's just if you've got a scythe, maybe lead with the scythe.
Oh, they're
first,
biting.
Yeah.
So like you said, Matt, the bottom four panels are kind of long rectangles, and on the next page, it starts with a really cool row of like four tall rectangle panels, and it's showing us like the slow kind of inelegant fall that they're both taking. Because the narration says, the Beast is hanging onto the flagpole and hanging on to the Hangman down below. And then the narrator says, letting the Hangman fall seemed like a good idea to the werewolf. Unfortunately, it also dictated letting the slack fall and getting choked again. I think this is the stupidest thing the Beast has ever done.
Yeah, but it was short gains, right? And that's the way he thinks. So it was
actually, but he does. He just looks
really
at it and he's like, "Oh, fuck this guy! I'm gonna kill him." And then like, "Oh shit, yeah, we're connected." So
I like that. I think the narration kind of ruins it there, because I like that just as a snap decision, just grabbing up and then yanking down, then misjudging the length of the thing and getting taken down with it. I struggle with whatever the hell Doug is doing here with this narration, because he narrates as the memory of being the werewolf.
Mm-hmm.
So he talks about it as like almost like a separate entity.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes it runs the risk of just those old caption boxes in comics that are pretty ubiquitous up through even the Bronze Age and even further, of just describing what you can already see in the panel.
Yep.
And
that's why they thought of style, right?
Yeah. And I thought, and I think it verges on that. And then there's a couple lines that it just made me laugh so hard. We'll get to them, but they're really funny. But I'm like, this is, what he's like mid-20s probably.
He's 27.
Yeah, and he's coming in, and he's doing a pretty good job. But it's such a weird choice to make the voiceover narration be like from like almost like he's telling the story in hindsight.
Yeah, and I feel like some of it, I don't know if Perlin is working from a completed script or not, but it feels to me like if this is the case of Perlin going off of like beats and drawing the stuff out, and then Munch coming in and saying, well, I better describe this, then that's having no faith in Perlin, because you could remove half of these boxes on this page.
Agreed.
And it'll be stronger. And Jacob and I have talked a bit in the past about how we love when Munch is saying when the Beast is climbing up on a fire escape and he's talking about the alien feel of the metal grid on his feet, like all those sensorial things that you can't convey through art or through the visuals are cool, and they always augment it. When he talks about smelling something, it's like, oh, that's cool. You can't. But when you're just describing what we're seeing, it's kind of insulting to both the writer and the artist, in my opinion.
What I thought right off when I was reading this issue, because I was thinking about the same thing, is that I think that what Munch does in this title is he's acting like a guy who's used to writing for the black and white magazines and is trying to dumb down his original idea for things. I think he's trying to fit into that Marvel box. I kind of came to this just because it just makes sense, because a lot of it is weird and not great enough, but he's also a really good writer. And I just think he's having a hard time fitting his personality and identity fully into the comic. I think he's doing better at this point than he was a few issues ago, but that's just a feeling I get.
Well, being halfway through that Planet of the Apes stuff he's writing and reading some of his other magazine stuff, I agree with you. I think he does better at that level where it's a little bit older audience, a little more sophisticated storytelling. I think that he's thinking he needs to write down, like you're saying.
Yeah, I really think that's the case.
That's an interesting point. Yeah.
But yeah, the rest of this page is just the beast slams down. The hangman starts yelling at him, "Stupid beast, you can never hope to prevail over the forces of goodness and honor." And the beast, has the stars above his head, and you can just hear him just being like, "Fucking guy, just never stops." Hangman kind of is about to cut at the beast. It says, while his foe was able to simultaneously gather the slack and heft his scythe into the glittering moonlight.
Yeah, I love that. Again, we were joking about this, but if you haven't seen this, the result of the beast's one short move here was switching positions up with the hangman, but then the result was physics. And so he got yanked down. The hangman fell 4 feet to the ground, and the beast fell 20 feet and had the wind knocked out of him. So he's completely stunned. But he does manage, as Jacob said, to get up and kind of yank on the slack of the noose and lurch forward as the scythe's coming down, and was smart enough to manipulate motion and to getting the noose cut off of his neck. So now he's free. And
free to go to the woods.
The hangman's angry. He says, "Run, cowardly villain, run as far and as fast as you can. The hangman doesn't care. Justice still will be mine in the end. Besides, the beast wasn't destined to face judgment tonight. This night is already reserved for Redditch." And then he flashes back into his own little mind of, as we saw him earlier, he was watching the whole thing with Redditch, and he hates Redditch. He's, it's his whole anti-formula, his anti-life equation is evil for evil's sake. Whatever the hell Redditch's deprave is. Deprave is the polar opposite of the hangman.
Yeah, he really hates deprave. He hates everything, and he has a very one-track mind. He's just going to tell you about good and evil, and yeah, it's never ending. Yeah, it's going to go the whole issue.
The hangman is like Steve Ditko, Mr. A, with a leather fetish.
Yeah, absolutely.
And there's a page coming up that is the entire page.
It's almost Mr. lifted entirely from Mr. A. I feel like I don't know which I don't know if that's intentional or not, but it's like the same speech about black and white and gray, But I love that the Hyde character is not the actual Hyde, like Marvel Hyde.
Marvel Hyde.
Yeah, exactly.
And is like just doing this for the sake of doing this in his scientific research, and that his change back to being like, and I'm never doing that again, doesn't come from any consequence or anything. It's not like it's basically just that, yeah, every time I turn into this thing, I end up fighting a werewolf. So I'm not doing it again. That's how they write him out. This issue has the wackiest way of dealing with its villains, of how they just kind of disappear from at the end of the title or the end of the issue in ways that were really surprising me, and one of them just downright hilarious. But yeah, and hilarious in a good way. I think the hangman's fate is quite wonderful.
It's the greatest thing. It's my favorite thing in the issue. And I know I can't wait to get to it. But yeah, so basically this next page, we get a recap of the last issue, but it's from the hangman's creepy perspective. Like he describes the beast and deprave as two foul transgressors of the law. And all I had to do was wait and punish the ultimate victor. So this is what he's realizing as he's watching them fight. But then he gets freaked out when Deprave turns back into Redditch, who the Hangman now sees as a man of apparent goodness, but he's not sure. And so he watches, the Beast run off. Redditch is in his coma after being slammed against a fucking car. He hears Redditch's name out of the mouth of Vic, and then it says that he has been researching Redditch for the last month. And he's come to the conclusion that, guess what? He's guilty.
It's pre-internet, Jacob.
Yeah.
30 days.
No, he used a card catalog. He absolutely did.
Well, the start of the page, he says he was on his nightly patrol. We haven't seen him for 12 months. So he's been out of the public eye for a year, but apparently he's just how many people has he killed in the last 12 months?
How many women are in cages again?
Yeah, does he have another dungeon?
That was his
deal. That's his profile.
He was less of a I kill the bad guys and more of a I'm saving the women of the world by throwing them in cages in my basement.
Right.
They seem to have just kind of nixed that as a part of the character. No, we'll just make him a ruthless, sort of zealot vigilante.
Yeah. So the last time we saw him, the Beast broke his brain by breaking his scythe. What made him? He snapped and just ran out babbling, right? Even more than his normal babble. And the basement. Didn't the whole building come down?
Yeah, the whole building came down. The ladies got out, and then the whole building came down.
Okay. So I'd love to see his side story. I don't need a whole miniseries or whatever, but I'd love to see how he recovered from that because his brain was broken.
I thought they were going to do that, but I thought we were going to set up what he's been up to, but instead they just reiterate his initial origin, which is I like movies. I do like that his lair is a theater.
Oh yeah, no, we'll get to that.
I think that's cool, but they don't make any attempt to and in the interim I've been up to this, it's just you two hide, or what's the guy's name? Devane? Deprave. You too, Deprave, will hear about Gary Cooper and why.
Yeah, absolutely.
Why I am how I am.
Oh well, that's my favorite when we actually get to his little or retelling of the origin.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that as well. So meanwhile, on the next page, he has figured out that, take 30 days of research. He's figured out that Winston Redditch is at Metro General Hospital. So he's stalking there because he says Winston Redditch will hang until dead for his crimes, whether it is man or monster, which hides within Metro General Hospital. So I didn't quite understand. He saw Redditch as a man and a man with potential innocence and goodness in him, but at the same time, he decided he needed to kill him after a month of judging him and stalking him.
Well, he says that it was the man who created the monster.
Oh, okay.
So that's how he has
original sin.
Yes.
Cool. So we go into Winston Redditch's room. The nurse is giving him a sedative, and he's pissed off. He's like, "Why are you waking me up to give me a sedative? I was already sleeping." So I love that he's already kind of an asshole. She's just working. She doesn't need to hear this shit. No. The waitress doesn't need to know your name. And then the window just breaks in with a scythe. And again, Big Glass, I think, funded this whole entire title because windows in here. There's actually a joke about it later on in the book that made me laugh.
Oh, me too.
So he comes striding in through the book. Hangman comes striding in through the broken glass holding a scythe. And Winston says, "What?" He's like, "Your time has come, worshiper of evil. The beast delayed me, but it was preordained that I would ultimately reach you and execute you for your crimes against honor and humanity." Man,
crimes against honor.
Mm-hmm.
Before humanity, by the way.
Yeah. And what are his, outside of him seeing him fight a werewolf, what is the crime that he knows Devane has depraved William Devane, that he's witnessed? Well, actually, William Devane would be a very good casting here as Redditch, I believe. What
nothing
he's done? Yeah,
because that fight of the last two issues was one night, right, Jacob?
Yeah, but what he had said before, because he knows now that Redditch, through his experiments created the monster Deprave. And so Deprave is evil, and Redditch is evil because he created something evil.
Cool.
But how does he know Deprave is evil?
Because he saw him fighting with a werewolf.
The same werewolf that he himself has tried to fight and destroy. As far as
he's
he knows,
very
they're
vocal,
on the same side.
Only evil can claim pleasure.
Yeah, he tells you a lot. Like he just keeps saying it over and over again. And even though I wasn't happy with this on the next page, like, God, okay, so this page is kind of brutal to me. So the nurse that we were talking about before, the heroic nurse,
bananas,
yells at him and says, "Can't you see he's just emerged from a coma? You can't break in here." And then the hangman goes, "Shut up, female. It is against my code of honor to strike a woman, but your actions leave me no choice." And then, he just backhands
belts her.
Yeah, he just totally belts her. And he says, "And woman or not, by abetting his existence, you become just as guilty as he is." Which, okay, super, super fucked up. But then the next panel, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure you guys have had IVs. And so basically, like, the hangman just totally yanks the IV out of the guy's arm. And I don't know why that was such a weird trigger for me, but I also know that's fairly accurate. Like, you see in movies and stuff, people just like leisurely taking the IV out of their own arm. And I'm just like, oh, dude, that doesn't work like that, right?
Yeah.
Like that would be immensely painful.
Mm-hmm.
So I did kind of like that, slight taste of realism, which was nice.
When he slaps the nurse, I thought that was like wild. Like it was pretty shocking. Because it is, I think it's even is it a page turn first? Because he says it's against my moral code, and then you turn the page and it's him belting her. Is it all on the same page?
That's all on page.
Okay,
yeah,
so
that's all
it still came as quite a shock, but it's also great because that is really in keeping with the character. Because it's like, normally it's against my code to hurt women. I usually take them into a basement and lock them in a cage to keep them safe.
Way better.
Yeah, and it's like, but I love that he immediately is justifying himself and smacking around because there is an element even in his inception of like he is less of a Punisher character who like legitimately desires to put evil down in some fucked up way, and it really is just a crazy power fantasy this guy's on. However, much like the werewolf thing, I love how she tries to. Like her big beef with it is like, whoa, this dude's in a coma. You can't just do this, as if like there's better times to come crashing through a window in a fetish outfit with a scythe. Like I would, like she's trying to reason with him, like as if he's trying to visit or like it's like it's not like the guy came in mad. He crashed in the window. There's no good time for that. But her concern, she's such a good nurse that her concern is for the patient. Like, he just got out of a coma. Not screaming for her life. Like, look at this freak in a tunic and a death's head shroud and with a scythe, like who just broke through this window. No, she's just sticking with it, and she got off well. They didn't throw her in a cage. But I just thought I actually liked this sequence because it's the first time that character in this issue has been like scary again, because there's something really creepy about him when his first appearance is keeping the women in the cages. He's not a very effective character. His design's a little wonky, it's stuff like that. But when he's exposed as being like, that's almost like the point, like is that he himself is wonky. Like his design, his thing. It's like, he's not a great villain. It's he himself isn't good at this and is weird and messed up and wouldn't have a cool costume and would be doing all this kind of stuff. I was like, this guy's it made him scary. It's cool. I liked it. I like that.
No,
I like that.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
And you're right. And it makes him scary again, right? Because it's like, he's not Captain Chivalry, who's, a step too far. He's a fucking animal with a bent set of morals. So he's like, well, it's 5:30. I don't have time to rent a basement to push you in. I'm just going to hit you.
Yeah. And the morals are the lie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The morals are the lie. It's just the power fantasy that he loves,
Right.
Yeah. It's cool. I was like, this makes him a good bad guy. I really can't wait to see him get his ass kicked, you know?
Yeah, no, this is a really strong page. I mean, yeah, the whole thing. So basically, Redditch faints after the Hangman yanks his IVs out, and then he picks him up, throws him over his shoulder, and heads out the window, going to transport him to my headquarters, he says.
Yes. So this next
page...
No
law enforcement.
No.
There, no, nothing. He could have just killed him with the scythe, but he's going to lug this very large man over his shoulder to his lair. And we know the Hangman doesn't travel by car.
Nope.
No.
So this is a heck of a risk he's taking here, you know?
Yep. We know he's in his late 40s at the very least, if not like early 50s, which I love.
Exactly.
Yeah. He's a model for senior fitness. So the next page is basically just a traveling page, much like in a Spider-Man, where he's just swinging his noose across some lampposts and traveling towards his headquarters with Redditch and a fireman carry. But the copy is all him ranting about this absolutist philosophy that you were talking about. So I'm going to read this whole thing just because, in case you had any questions about his moral stance, here it is. Too long has society been forced to dwell in shades of gray. It is time to prove that there's only black and white. There are but two paths, that of good and that of evil. And those who attempt to travel a road between the two are automatically condemned to the evil path, because any mixture of light and darkness becomes polluted by the dark. Purity is its own restraint, and compromises become evil by nature of their inherent weakness. This difference is one of night and day. Those who choose to dwell in the filth of the night shall die in the night. Die at the hands of the one force of goodness, unafraid to enter the night and battle evil on its own terms, of the Hangman. And then his theme song starts.
Oh, man, his theme song would be so good, too.
Just Waka Chickas.
Yeah.
Waka Chickas.
Yeah, no, it's a pretty typical traveling page, but is pretty good. I'm really liking Don Perlin's art on this whole issue.
I like Don Perlin in general.
Yeah, but this is him. This is a really strong issue for him. I mean, I think he's finally able to flex his muscles, not worrying about Vince Colletta ruining his shit. And so I think it really shows on this issue. It looks great.
Whenever he's an artist I don't know that much about, but I gotta say, and whenever I pop open like a Bronze Age comic and I see his name, I always kind of forget, like, I can't remember, do I like this guy or not? And then as I read through a comic, I'm like, no, this guy kind of rules. He's crushing it. Like, he's got some Ghost Rider issues where Ghost Rider fights Doctor Strange that are just like great. They're just freaking great. Like, he's not a, there's a few of those jobbers back then that you kind of dread seeing their name. Don Perlin just does some good, solid comic booking. He just
he does, and he pretty consistently did 2 books a month, full books a month for Marvel. Sometimes he would sell stories around this time to the DC horror books like Ghosts or The Witching Hour, I think is what he did. But at this time, his other book is War is Hell, which is one of my favorite books of all time.
Yeah.
And so
I'm
really enjoying the last 2 issues. The last 2 months, he's done these War is Hell issues, which I love. And I've been reading my bound copy kind of along to kind of see what else Don Perlin's doing. And the art in those issues, I would say, is even stronger than this. Like,
is that Kubert that started that? Who's War is Hell?
So War is Hell, well, it started out as a reprint book. And then issue 9, it was, I think it was actually plotted by Tony Isabella. Tony Isabella came up with the idea, and then Chris Claremont scripted it. I think Jerry Grandinetti did the first issue, but Perlin takes it over, I think, by like issue, well, it starts with 9. So I think by issue 10 or 11, it's Perlin. But it's this character named John Kowalski who, dies kind of as a coward in World War II, comes back, goes to hell. Death brings him back to inhabit the bodies of people that died, but have them live a little bit longer so they can accomplish something with this John Kowalski spirit. So he's kind of like Dead Man, and he's kind of like a really depressing Quantum Leap.
I gotta check that out. Is it is this a Marvel magazine format?
No, it was just this comic. So it's the first 8 issues were just reprints of Atlas era war stories. And then there were 2 issues that were Sergeant Fury reprints. And then they just created this character, and it started.
I'm thinking of Sergeant Rock. That's Kubert, right?
Yeah. Sergeant Rock, Kubert, for sure.
So Sergeant Fury. Okay. Now I'm hip.
Yeah.
John Krasinski is War as Hell.
Yeah. Word. John Krasinski. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just this weird little book. It lasts, I think, till issue 15. But that shit hasn't been collected except in this weird, like, giant Chris Claremont omnibus that's not his X-Men stuff. But I didn't want that, so I actually have the issues, and I got them bound. And so I love it. I can't wait till it's finally reprinted so people can actually fucking learn about it, so I can talk to them about it.
Yeah, I need to check it out.
The first 8 in there? Is it an omnibus?
Oh, the one that I...
Yeah,
that I made. Yeah. So it has 1 through 15, and then there are 2 issues of Man-Thing from like 1980, I think, that continue and end the story of John Kowalski. So I have those 2 bound in it as well. So I have War as Hell 1 through 15, and then the Man-Thing.
And the Man-Thing, is that from Gerber?
No, it's Claremont.
It's Claremont. Interesting. Damn.
Yeah. So Claremont does these last 2 issues of Man-Thing and kind of puts himself into the last issue. Like, I genuinely think no one gave a shit what he did on Man-Thing at that point. It's really, really good.
And that ran in the Man-Thing regular title.
Yeah, in the regular title.
Interesting.
Man, I don't think I've read. I guess I haven't read all Man-Thing.
This is all blowing my mind. Like all of this, I'm like, because I vaguely remember the reading the what you're talking about, the resolution. Mm-hmm. That he kind of gives, but for some reason I thought that was Gerber. Or
no, it's late. It's like 1980, I think, maybe, or maybe 79. I can't remember. But it
sounds like a Gerber, but
it does definitely sound like a Gerber. But actually, Wars 9 through 15, I think, which is the good John Kowalski saga, has just gone up on Marvel Unlimited.
Oh, cool!
Yeah, so I'm diving in.
If you do Marvel Unlimited, definitely read it. It's kind of amazing.
Yeah. Very cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, sorry, I don't know how we got off on that.
It's a comic book podcast.
It's comics, man.
That's true. You're right.
If we can't go out on a tangent to talk about some War as Hell issues, then I don't want to be here. You know.
All right,
thank you, Brett.
Guys. So this is exciting. This is the page I was most excited to talk to you guys about. So. The Hangman with Redditch over his shoulder arrives at his new headquarters, which is an abandoned theater called the Bijou. So the Hangman brings him in there, sets him down, and Redditch is still totally passed out. But the Hangman's like, you know what? I'm going to tell you all about me. Let me go through my origin again. And so he's explaining that the theater is how his personality and his kinks were formed. He says the very foundations of my principles are rooted in this place, in this common movie theater. So the first thing he says, he goes, this was an awesome place for a child, a place filled with stirring inspiration, a place where men of courage and conviction demonstrated the rewards of goodness. And then we have 4 floating heads. Yes, Matt?
Is atop Jerry Van Dyke.
Okay, this is the big question. So there's 4 heads there. They are very obviously, bogeys down there at the bottom. Then we have Errol Flynn. I think the guy on the right is Clark Gable, and
Jerry Van Dyke.
God, it does look like Jerry Van Dyke. So I
could not figure out who that was.
Gary Cooper.
So I asked my mom. I asked. Gary Cooper. I think is actually what we had decided on.
That's interesting because the cowboy guys come on the next part. And Gary Cooper was a cowboy actor.
Jimmy Stewart.
See, the other thing that I thought when I talked with Alicia was we thought it could be Jimmy Cagney when he's super handsome and young. And okay, let me tell you why. Because he starred in a little movie called Footlight Parade, the same movie that the Shanghai Lil number is from 2 issues ago. So I think that Gerber, not Gerber, I think that Mensch is a real big fan of Jimmy Cagney and Footlight Parade.
Because if you were going to put Cooper there, they would put him on when you've got the He's got the Western stars.
Yeah, so
that's the roundabout.
Yeah, that's the next panel where he says a place where honorable men were glorified as heroes and anti-heroes were damned as cheap thugs and villains. And so this is why there's 3 floating heads on this one. And I'm assuming that these are the anti-heroes. And the one that is the easily recognizable is Edward G. Robinson, who,
Brenner?
Yeah.
When did Westworld come out? Who was the top left?
Oh, top left. I mean, it looks like Yul Brynner in Westworld, which is the weirdest thing. It looks like he has a computer or a robot face. Yeah, I couldn't figure out, but I can see Gary Cooper maybe, but I don't know. Brad, what do you think of those 2 cowboy guys?
I thought one of them was John Wayne.
Yeah, but that wouldn't fit
because John Wayne as well.
Because when he was a kid, it would have been the 30s.
Yeah, but John Wayne this is sort of my problem with the whole thing.
Quiet Man.
John Wayne, the Searchers and stuff like that, he's an anti-hero.
He's an anti-hero, but that's not till the 40s.
But that's because that's what he's talking about, that movies went toward that. Right?
I thought he was talking about like Bonnie and Clyde. I thought like 1967 broke his brain. Like,
so
what happened to the movies,
Yeah, sure. But regardless, even his examples at the beginning, like Bogey, is like the epitome of gray area.
Yeah.
As like a character.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, I thought that was weird that he put that in the
the only one that really
guys that
fits is Errol Flynn as like a movie character, because Errol Flynn was always like
he was a swashbuckling
good guy, like chivalrous.
Yeah.
Very, very good. And all the rest of them are kind of murky. They're all from noirs from the 30s. They're all like
definition, like you're saying, the definition of gray.
And Clark Gable, I would not call Clark Gable playing a bunch of good guys.
No,
either.
None of them.
Not at all.
Flynn's the only one I could think of that I'm like, yeah, he really did make a career out of playing like the good, like Robin Hood.
He was literally Robin Hood.
Yeah,
right.
Like chivalrous, good men.
I'm calling this bottom one. It's Yul Brynner, Joshua Kane, and Edward G. Robinson.
Oh, I'm in. Sold. So the final panel on this page, the hangman has been yelling this whole thing to a sleeping Redditch. And so he says, so sleep while you can, Redditch. Conserve your strength, for the hangman will not rely on treachery to defeat your banner of corruption. He will wait until you can stand and fight like a man.
And then he made sweet, sweet, non-consensual love to his sleeping form.
So
but he's got geek, Tarantino geek.
I like that his lair is a theater. I think this actually makes way more sense than because that was the big leap in logic.
Dungeon?
Yeah, that was the big leap of logic. And the other thing that just kind of made the character not work as well is like, I am obsessed with movies and the way things were, and I love Gary Cooper so much that I'm locking women in cages. Is like, wait, what? Like,
yeah,
like no, you're right.
I saw Stagecoach and was like, you know what, women, cages. The world's not safe. But like for him to be at a movie theater,
Tom Mix on a constant loop, that makes sense.
That makes sense. Yeah, like him having a theater and also like being much more of just a I hunt the monsters of the night character is like, okay, we're starting to find this guy again, while still keeping him delusional and kind of ineffectual too.
Yeah,
I'm liking it. Yeah.
It's funny, Matt. I think that I totally agree with that. One of those guys in the cowboy hats has to be Tom Mix. I thought maybe the other could be Buck Jones.
I don't even know who Buck Jones is.
Do you know him? He was. I think that he died in this fire that was at a place like kind of like a Brown Derby type place, but it was a fire that happened so quickly and so hot that he was found like sitting up.
Oh my God!
Like holding his glass.
How have I not read that? Jesus.
Yeah, I almost think it's in. I can't remember what book we've read about that in, but Alicia did a coloring sheet of him for our records coloring night one time, and it was it's very brutal. But yeah, that's who I imagined those two guys were.
Or Yul Brynner wearing Buck Jones's face. Okay, so on the next page, we cut back to our star, the Beast, and he is. He says it was his beloved forest where freedom grew hand in hand with the absence of smothering concrete. Forest. So drink, guys. Right. We went to the forest. He made it to Elmore National Forest. But he's still kind of spun out from dropping 20 feet and landing on the concrete. So he goes ass over tea kettle and just falls into a little ravine and kind of just passes out. And then he transforms. There's a nice little transformation panel here as the sun comes up, and there's 3 columns together. And I really like this one for some reason. I think it's because the middle panel seems to be doing more of the transition than we typically see in a transformation. Like normally it's Jack with splotches of brown on his face, and then and maybe some pointy teeth, and then he's a werewolf. This one, like his nose is actually transitioning between the 2 noses. Like, I don't know, it just seemed more focused and detailed to me. But at any rate, he's passed out and he sleeps all day long because he got his ass kind of, he fell from a couple stories up. And then we see a silhouette come down over him. And this is kind of a funny little thing Munch does here. It says, "It was a cinch no shadow would shake me." So he's saying, I didn't even wake up even though this shadow falls over my face. And it says, "Then again, shadows don't." And then this hand just comes down and slaps him across the face, which I love.
I know. I almost think I just want to jump to the next page almost because it ends up being Buck Cowan, friend of the year. And I had to imagine that he enjoyed slapping Jack just a little bit, right?
This is one of the problems with the damn. Everyone really, really cares about Jack. Like they're so invested in helping Jack, and he can't even just do the bare minimum to not werewolf in the middle of nowhere. Like,
well, I think he does the bare minimum sometimes, at least. He plans with Buck. They make a werewolf-proof room that Jack breaks out of course. But I feel like half the time he half-heartedly plans for it, and the rest of the time, just like you're saying, he just totally fucking forgets like an idiot.
Just doesn't even. Yeah. I just don't think that would be something you'd lose on the schedule. Like, shit, tonight's werewolf night. Totally forgot. Sorry, Buck.
I like what Buck... you said last week, Matt, about this. How you said that he should have a 70s doctor-sized pager.
Answering service.
I just kept thinking about that after I listened to the episode. It's really genius because he should. And Perlin totally could have drawn one of those in here. He has a giant brick doctor's pager that's like werewolf time.
Yeah, Buck has upheaved his entire life for reasons I do not understand, and yet this little punk consistently just kind of is willy-nilly about his whole werewolf thing.
Yeah, what I've noticed is that Jack keeps he not only does he go over and bug Buck and make him do shit, whenever he barges in on Buck is right in the middle of writing or right about to write something. So rent. Buck he's trying to pay the rent and Jack keeps fucking up his shit. So Buck hasn't finished the story in I don't know how long. He has his cool little X-Files file cabinet. That's what I want to know more about.
Yeah, it's just like I don't know why Buck wants to help this little rich kid so much, just.
Munch is 27. So as far as he knows about life, like there's this person that you have that's older than you, and whenever you need help, they bail you out. So Buck's true. Like that. My mom's dead, and my stepdad's uncle is kind of weird. So
poor suffering Buck.
No, but I mean, he's one of our favorite characters, and I'll always love Buck. But I like what he says to Jack. He tells Jack he's been searching the woods, these like vast, expansive urban woods, like all night and most of the day, which we had seen on the next page, which means the sun is setting in just a few hours. So I like that he tells Jack in one of the middle panels, "I got the serum from Redditch's wife, Jack. If it works, you've shared your body with the werewolf for the last time." Then it shows them getting back to the house, and Matt, I know you'd love this. They call it Redditch's good juice in quotations.
Yeah. So I resolved when I was reading this that I do have an entire microbrew setup. So I'm going to brew a batch of pale ale called Redditch's Good Juice, and we're going to age that. And Jacob and I are going to open the first bottles of it on the air and taste it and see how it goes.
And it'll be just like the real thing in that it doesn't cure lycanthropy either.
True.
I don't know why
you're right.
I don't know why that leap of logic is taken here. And especially, here's another thing that's kind of weird about it too. Like, because I got really excited at this moment. Going through this, I don't remember this issue very well because I've read through a lot of these a long time ago. So as I'm revisiting, I don't remember all of the beats of these things, and I'm like, "Oh, that's a really dumb leap of logic." But I was like, "But yeah, whatever gets you there, because this could be really cool."
Yep.
I was like, "Oh, he's taking a madman serum that turns a guy into Mr. Hyde. What's the hide of a werewolf gonna be like? This could be bananas." So yeah, it does nothing. It does absolutely nothing. They don't even need it in the issue. Buck finds him, takes him there, and he turns back into a werewolf.
Yeah, it's a bit of a fake out. I mean, so he
up
takes,
a loop.
Yeah, he takes the good juice. He says to the victor, "Go the spoils." Yuck.
But what's the loop it's
the
tying
gross
up?
juice.
The entire reason that they met Redditch was that Buck knew about his research, and so Redditch thought he was drinking Jekyll juice, but his wife actually switched them. Mm-hmm. So the entire idea was maybe if the Hyde juice amplifies the negativity and the animosity in a bestial form, maybe the Jekyll juice will subdue it. So this might be a cure. So it's a leap on top of a leap.
Yeah, really. I thought he was going to get some Hyde juice and everything was going to go absolutely bananas.
Oh, see, that would have been great. But I see that they're acting desperate. And I think that if I was to try to justify their actions, I think they are making desperate decisions because they know Lissa's birthday is coming up. Yeah. So I think that both of them, as idiotic as Jack can be, he's still always going to be thinking like, "Oh, fuck, my little sister is totally going to be a werewolf. I have not that much time to try to figure out a way to stop this." So that's my only... that makes a lot more sense as to why they're doing these insane things, aside from it just being a fun story. But
because we don't want Jack to turn out into a werewolf, harm nobody, and run into the woods.
Yeah.
But
as adults, 40 years later, we know that. But at the time, as an 11-year-old kid reading this, it's like his premise to Buck is, every time I do this, I could kill an innocent person. Like, yeah, so I mean, the stakes are high to a young reader.
So then the refusal to, like, okay, just in case this doesn't work. I mean, we're really butting up against the moon here. Why don't we tie you up or something, just in case? They just
puts him out like a cat. I think he says.
Well, yeah, Matt, that's your cue. What happens after he takes the juice?
Before we turn the page here, though. Is it clear to everyone in this conversation that Buck completely fucked the shit out of Redditch's wife? Like, they got down. Like, from the last issue to this issue, he fucked her silly, and she loved it. She hasn't had sex in months. Like, that dude's been shut up, and he's a turd anyway. I mean, he's an ineffectual. He's a beta cuck, and Buck just came in and laid pipe. She was happy. Yeah. He's happy. He got the formula.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, well, she didn't have the cash on hand to pay him, so or the cash on hand to pay her. Excuse me.
I seem to be short on cash.
And she was able to find a way for him to make it up to her.
She had some good juice for him. Yes.
I just was so bummed. I really thought we were going to get some crazy secondary mutation.
Yeah.
Thing going on, and I'm like, no, it just did nothing. It just does nothing.
This was the Jekyll juice.
No, it's not cool juice. It's good juice.
Yeah.
Did we miss the line? I really wanted to talk about this line that I thought was funny where Doug says that, and writers call it the dawn. Did we miss that line?
No, that's next page, Matt.
Okay, go ahead, sir.
Sorry, am I missing? Writers call it the dawn?
Oh, is that on the next page? Maybe it isn't.
I don't think it is.
Maybe we missed it.
Yeah, I think we missed it. I think it's when the sun's coming up.
Oh, shit.
And he turns.
Right. Sorry.
And
Poets call it the dawn.
Poets call it the Dawn. And I just was like, everyone calls it the Dawn. Everyone. Yeah. That's what it's called. Dawn.
Yeah, you're right. Poets call it anything but the Dawn, actually.
Yes, that's exactly my point. Like, poets usually find really roundabout ways to not say the Dawn.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Normal humans just call it the Dawn or sunrise. But I just thought that was so funny. Like, he really thinks he's like landing something there.
Yeah.
You know, just like he just sits back from his typewriter going, nailed it. You know?
Yeah. I think that's a Gretzky thing, though. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Yeah. I just thought that one was so funny because it has its own panel.
Yeah.
You know, they really give it a punch in too. Mm-hmm. Like, I loved it. I couldn't stop laughing.
I like this next page here for some reason, but so this is where we see Jack standing out in the backyard. He has chugged the Jekyll juice. He's standing out proudly, defiantly, and Buck's looking down at him from his window, and they're waiting for the moon to come up. It comes up, and there's this like cutting back and forth between the moon and their faces. So we see Jack, and it says he's waiting for the nightmare to end, and the moon, and then Buck's watching. He's like, Jack, like, hey, this is working, and the moon's up. He's like, Jack, it worked. The serum worked. You haven't changed. And then Jack's like, oh my God. He's like, yes, I've won. I beat it. I beat the stinking moon for good. But the jubilance in that upraised fist quickly turns sour as you see fur growing on his hand and claws coming out of his nails. As I turned into the beast, and Buck says, what's wrong, Jack? It worked, didn't it? And he's looking down from above, and he's like, rah! And his fangs are growing, and he's spouting fur. I answered with a ragged growl, and freed of all human restraint, the werewolf bolted off, leaving Buck alone with his humanity and stifling remorse. And that last panel, oh my God, I love that panel. Is like my spirit animal. It's like Buck like clenching his fists and like just kind of bowing over and just shaking with like grief and rage and sadness. Such a strange little panel. It's very
Matt, this is why you are my best friend, because that is my absolute favorite panel of this whole issue. And I know it's weird. There's just something about it. And how is yours colored? Because he is half purple and half blue in mine.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's just genius. It's such a great panel.
That whole sequence is really well paced.
Oh, it's awesome.
I thought so too.
But that middle section, oh man.
Yeah, Jacob, I saw this and I was like, how am I going to make this profiles on all of my social media things?
I know, right? Just so glad we have Don Perlin doing pencils and inks. It's just a fucking treat. We've had to hold our nose the last 4 or 5 issues. We really have. So this is like running in a meadow.
Yeah. I liked his art a lot in this as well. I wish I could see the printed color as opposed to the digital version's color. But I was really liked the artwork a lot. It's good. It was really good stuff.
So cool.
I do like the muted colors of the print for some of the stuff like this.
So yeah, I guess on the next page we have the Beast. He's following the scent of the Hangman and Redditch. And I can't remember. I know we've talked about what Buck Cowan smells like, but what did we decide that the Hangman would smell like? It's like Old Spice and mothballs.
Oh yeah. Old Spice has got to be there.
I know we said Old Spice, and I couldn't remember what the other one was. I smell mothballs.
Yeah. Leather.
That's definitely going to be a percentage.
Yeah, whatever like sweat dried on leather smells like.
Yeah.
and maybe some Irish Spring.
Oh, Irish Spring, of course.
So the whitest soap is.
So yeah, the Beast is following the scent. It leads him to the roof of the abandoned theater, and this is my other favorite part of the whole issue. It says that the narration says, and for once, the skylight was already shattered.
Yes, I love that.
So here's the thing. Do you think that was in the art and Doug wrote that? Because, they're working the Marvel method. I'm sure of it. I'm pretty sure of it.
So they're working the Marvel method, but it seems like they did the Marvel method, but a little bit more. Kind of a little bit more like what Stan and Jack would do on their collaborations. Don Perlin had said again and again that he was really involved in the whole process with the writer.
Yeah.
And they loved working together.
Okay.
So I don't know.
I thought that was a pretty good joke too.
Yeah, I think it's an actual
pretty good
joke.
I think it's a joke.
Yeah, I was just wondering if the joke came to him later, going like, "Oh, the window's already shattered," or he drew a shattered window, so that's a good time for a joke, or if it was like agreed upon, because I thought it was a pretty good joke too. I also sort of like that finally the werewolf's kind of doing a thing. It's like the werewolf is carried a grudge.
Yeah,
like it's like it just is like that thing. I'm gonna go find it. You know.
Well, he had a grudge an issue or two ago when Redditch answered the door as Deprave and punched him and Buck out, and he woke up. He got knocked out as Jack and woke up as a werewolf and was like, "Fuck that," and tracked him all the way to the supermarket. So
yeah, I like when that happens in this comic too. when the werewolf seems to be a problem solver for Jack or the werewolf itself in some way, where it just kind of steers itself to, as opposed to just like,
well, he's not.
I was out one night. Yeah, I was out one night and the hangman attacked me. Where things land in his lap, it's more like pursuit of.
Yeah.
More aimed toward things. I think they're just dramatically more interesting, and I like that a lot. Totally hey, cool.
So yeah, the hangman is basically the beast is looking down. The hangman is kind of hovering over Redditch. It says, "Get up and face your punishment like a man, evildoer. The hangman awaits you." And I want to imagine that Redditch like just woke up, so he's like, "Holy fuck! I was last in the hospital, and then now you're here." And he says, "You're mad." And the hangman's like, "Mad? To see justice through to its devout end? No, the hangman is not mad, but filled with the fires of righteous wrath, and determined to see that your execution is." And then he hears the growl from above him. There's this gray panel at the bottom where he's turning around and looking up at the same time. And he goes, "What?" I
had the same thought you did, where it's like, wow, I was in the hospital. I was kind of highly doped up. Did somebody come into the window? Oh my God, my cock and balls are hanging out of this goddamn gown, and I smell hobo piss. And now a guy's going to kill me.
I know.
Yeah, he's already being speechified at by some leather fetish nightmare. You know, he's having a wild night.
Do you want to come show the people what you're doing?
I just didn't want to be on camera.
So this is Renee. She has a Cthulhu mask on for some reason.
Hi, Renee.
You don't need to explain why. It's weirder to not be in a Cthulhu mask if you have one. You know?
Yeah, we're totally okay with the hangman's fetishes. Like, this is fine.
Thanks, honey.
Well, I was getting ready for bed. I didn't want to be on camera.
Okay. I will take that. Thank you for the...
Listen, guys, I don't want to know about your weird sex things, you know, with the Cthulhu masks and whatnot.
It's not a sex thing all the time.
I don't know what you guys got going on.
Thank you.
Yeah, she's getting ready for bed.
Yeah.
Yes.
I just have this Cthulhu mask on.
Don't worry, Matt. We'll wrap this up.
Are you almost done with your podcast?
Yeah, I think that's what that was. So yeah, we'll speed through this now. Okay.
She has to go put slop down in the basement for the girls in the cages.
Oh, okay.
Excellent.
Okay, so we were done with that page.
Yeah.
Sorry for the random. Okay, so the beast jumps down from the skylight from the termite-ridden balcony. The hangman's like, "The beast!" And again, I love that the fact that the beast says he made a noose around the hangman's neck with his arms. Meanwhile, Redditch is trying to collect himself. "My head, pain," and there's little bubbles around his head. "Must remember, I'm Redditch. Winston Redditch," and then he transforms, "is dead." So now that he's had hide juice, he just seems to transform like the Hulk whenever he gets angry or agitated or something.
Yeah.
But he continues, and Deprave lives. So you have the hangman and the beast grappling in mortal combat, and now he's raving in the background like a lunatic, and he dives into them full on fucking sloth Goonies, just like slams into them.
I love this fight.
Me too.
Three-way fight. It's cool.
I wish it were longer. I wish that this wasn't like the end of the issue.
Yeah,
there's like 3 pages left.
Yeah, because we've seen a lot of these, even on some of the ones we've covered, where there's like different entities fighting, and it can be a little like sloppy, but this was nice. This was actually really well done.
Yeah, I love the dynamic nature of that bottom panel and just the anatomy. At first, you're just like, "Oh my god, can legs go that way?" And then you're like, "Yeah, they could." Yeah, if you get punched in the fucking face by Depraved full bore, then yeah, that's what you're going to look like.
Yeah, and I love the savagery of this fight. Like when it says "and Depraved lives" and he's throwing his arms up just to kind of like say, like, "I'm fucking down to go." Like in the foreground, the Beast has his claws wrapped around the back of the Hangman's head, and the Hangman has his hands in the Beast's mouth, like they're just grappling.
Yeah, it's really cool. I love that each person takes a swipe, but they're all fighting each other.
Yeah,
like they're not like just teaming up against one, or it's just as soon as there's a hook landed, the other guys. It's great. I love it.
No, it's a fucking free for all, and so Depraved has basically knocked out the Hangman. And he says, "Ha, Beast, did you know that animals are meant for skinning and that Depraved will settle for nothing less?"
Weird thing to latch onto. Very specific.
It's really specific. Yeah, I agree. I was concerned by that. And then the Beast kind of responds by full on attacking him. And yeah, the savagery of these panels, especially that one where he's just tearing Depraved's clothes off. And it says he had his own ideas about skinning.
Yeah.
So he's basically stripped Depraved bare, and Depraved has got the Beast, kind of like picks him up, and the Hangman's kind of getting to, and Depraved throws the Beast. The Hangman ducks, and the Beast just like rams into a bunch of these movie posters that are on the wall, and he's out. And then these last two panels were also some of my favorite, because it says that, but the werewolf's discomfort, the Hangman ducked and came up swinging. And so the Hangman just really connects this nasty punch to Depraved hard, and it just does nothing. And Depraved's his face is so great looking. And we hear the Hangman, and he's like, "Huh?" Which, God, I loved. I thought that was so badass. But yeah, this fight is scary. Like shit is just going wrong for all three of them.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Oh, it's great.
It's good Marvel Comics fighting. It's good.
Yes, I agree. This is very well thought out fighting. I feel like in a better world, like in Earth 2, Winston Redditch / Depraved is Kurt Connor's Lizard for Jack Russell.
Yeah,
a little more developed. They have a relationship, and I really like when Depraved. I mean, he is his first thought. He's so evil. His first thought is animals are for skinning. Like, I like how he is Hannibal Lecter.
Right.
Like, all I have is pure evil. Like, humans are for lamps. I make lamps out of humans. Like, he's fucking crazy. So he's so evil. I think he's interesting. Like, like you said, you get that joke at the end where Hangman gives him his best punch and he just leers at him back with this big devilish grin, like unfazed. I mean, he's just kind of a scary character.
Yeah, he is. I fully agree.
I don't want to pick at nits, but we started back when I think Dracula era happened, when someone body slammed someone else. We had ourselves a little drink of bourbon.
Yeah, we did. Oof.
Him being a continuous villain for Werewolf is good, because he's somebody who wants to become a monster, and then there's somebody who doesn't want to be one.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like, wow, they could have done a lot with that. They don't, but they could have done a lot of that.
Yeah, it had a lot of potential.
Yeah.
And in the last issue, after Jack made it known to Redditch that there is a werewolf, and that's who attacked him and put him in a coma, he was like, werewolf, huh? Maybe I can use that in my studies. I mean, there was a ton of stuff. I don't know how much this guy came up. I don't know if he ever came up again, to be honest, after this issue. Do you?
I don't know if I looked. I don't think so, but missed
No,
opportunity.
I don't think he does. I think his whole thing is resolved at the end of this.
Is it?
Oh yeah, because he gives it up. That's right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
He never meddles with it again.
That's right. Okay.
So on the next page, Depraved punches Hangman devastatingly in the face with a big plow, and there's a huge explosion. So Hangman's out for the count, and we get a great panel of Depraved just kind of settling in and just like waking up to it. Like, I'm just, okay, Depraved's here to play. And he's like Muhammad Ali with bandages on and his bottoms. He's like, and now there's a slight matter of skinning a wolf to attend to. And in the foreground, we have a great kind of 3/4 profile of the beast, like they're growling and hunching over, his fangs hanging out. The werewolf may not have understood the words, but he didn't care beans for the attitude, only for blood. And so he swipes in and slashes hard. It says blood, which spurted from the 4-way gush. And I don't have color on this. I felt kind of bummed because this is a really good claw rake of a villain. And it's just flesh-colored fluid coming down his face. But I feel like we earned some goddamn red, true red blood.
Yeah, see, I actually have I had some thoughts about this because in the digital coloring, it's just white.
Yeah,
like it looks like snot. I actually think if they would have colored it red, it would have been a little too brutal.
Okay,
for Marvel standards. Yeah, for the code.
For the code, yeah.
So I honestly think they may have had to tone that down.
Which I actually like the weird white stuff because it's just because it's like, oh, his blood is infused with this wacky juice.
Oh, I like that.
I kind of like that.
That's cool.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I almost didn't even think about the blood aspect. I was like, oh, he just bleeds this weird white crap. That's kind of cool.
Like Bishop and Aliens or something?
Yeah, as a way to do blood, because that's the way I saw it. Is like, oh, this is a way to do blood for the code, is that his blood isn't blood, you know?
No, it makes perfect sense now that you guys say it. I just felt like the Beast really earned this, and he's been so brutalized over the years.
Because it's distinctly white in the digital version.
Okay.
Yeah, it really is.
It is the same color as Depraved's flesh in the print.
Gotcha.
He recovers, and he sprints out through the exit, and the Beast immediately gives chase and chases after him. And then the Hangman kind of jumps up and he's like, "Halt, fiends! Justice will not allow you to escape." And so we have this crazy ass fucking Three Stooges nonsense happening here at the end where all the bad guys are chasing each other essentially.
Oh, but it just, okay. Like I love that. I love this page. There's a lot to love about that.
Yeah, it's a great page.
I got to jump right to the best page of the whole issue.
My favorite part of this whole issue.
Oh, it's the best ending to the Hangman story. So we're outside the Bijou. Cops arrive at the theater and they're like, "Hey, Denny, the Bijou's been closed for years. So what do those birds hope to rip off inside a deserted theater?" And we see the silhouettes of Deprave and the Beast running off. And then so the other guy's like, "Who knows? Maybe the bubblegum under the seats. If we move, maybe we can catch at least one of them for questioning." And then the Hangman just bursts out of there going,
"It's so great.
Flight only delays the inevitable. For goodness always triumphs over evil." And then the cops are like, "Hold it, Charlie, like. We'll shoot." Yeah, it is. It's exactly what he sounds like. And the cops are just like, "What the fuck are you doing? Like, just stop or we're going to shoot you. You're under arrest." And then he says, "Arrest? But you milksop liberals can't arrest me. I'm a force of good. I'm the law." And then the cops look like they're laughing at him. Like
I love that he calls LA cops milksop liberals.
Exactly. LA cops, 1975 LA cops. I don't, they're probably not milksop liberals.
Maybe not the term I'd hurl at them, but I love this whole sequence.
It's so good. So they basically are just like, how about that sickle? I suppose you help a little old ladies across the street with it. And so they're just like, "Get in the fucking car. Get in the car, Charlie, or you make my finger twitch." And he just freaks out. He's like, "No, you're as evil as the other two. The Hangman can't be arrested. It's not fair. It's a travesty of justice." And so, he's just whining as they're pushing him into the back of a squad car. But then I love the cynical cop. He says, "Sure is, considering a good lawyer will have you out on bail by morning. Now get in the car."
I love this whole thing because it's like normally that Deus Ex Machina kind of thing of something just solving a problem. But it was so funny that he just got arrested.
Yeah, that's
like in a superhero comic. Normally, the big bad costume villain doesn't just like, "I'm going to get you, Spider-Man," and a cop goes, "You're under arrest," and then that's the end of him. And that's what happens. It cracked me up. I took the screenshot of the page and I'm like, sent it to a friend. I'm like, this is the funniest end to a villain I've seen in a long, long time. He just he just gets arrested. He just gets pulled over and arrested.
Yeah, it feels like this should it's like a Scorsese movie, like where the rest of the part Jacob's going to talk about, like there should be a Stones song playing as it's just like panning through these next panels.
Yeah. So playing Layla.
Yeah, no, the bottom three panels. Imagine Moonlight Mile is playing.
Yeah, I just could not believe he just gets arrested, just straight up arrested. Like, you imagine that with like any Spider-Man Rogues Gallery character. Like, like the guy hops out of the bank and a cop just goes, "You're under arrest."
Oh shit!
It just cracked me up so much.
It's so great, and so we end with these three panels that are kind of beautiful. I don't know why. I kind of latched onto these. Like, they're great, and they show the Beast has lost Deprave's trail. Then it switches to Deprave. It says, somewhere in the dark streets of LA, a man named Redditch would awaken from the nightmare called Deprave. Then it says, vowing to never so much as touch the serum he has devoted years to creating. So his story's over. And then the final panel is this great illustration of the Beast, just his face. And it says, as for the werewolf, he'd already forgotten about his experience with a serum that had failed. That was something for the dawn, a cold, hard memory to which Jack Russell would awaken and never forget. So I love those bottom three panels. And Moonlight Mile, and Moonlight Mile is going on the fucking Werewolf by Night Spotify mix too, which we've been
poets called the dawn.
Yeah. I love the again that Redditch is like, you know what, my days of Jekyll and hiding are over. Not for anything that, like, not for any teachable moment.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just that I'm just exhausted.
But he's scared shitless, I think. Like, he's just like, oh my God, I can't believe this is all happening. I'm never touching that shit again.
Yeah, but like, it's just hilarious that it's just basically.
This is a sleeping viper, though, because the whole point of he transformed without taking the serum.
Yeah.
So this whole thing is like, he's saying, I'm never going to touch it again. He's already transformed without taking it. It's in him now.
So little did he think that when he transformed into this thing that he would have a leather fetish guy kidnap him out of a hospital.
True.
And then have to fight.
He never got an erection without thinking about it again.
Yeah. And then have to fight a werewolf. Like, I love that that's sort of like his, like, this is just not worth it. Like, I don't know how I got here. I'm not doing it anymore. Yeah. Because he's such a wormy guy as Redditch.
Totally.
And it's not like he learned a lesson because he was like Kirk Connors is a good example of like, I wanted to solve something in my life and it's just taken too much for me. It's just, no, he's just like, well, I still want to do this, but I'm just not worth the time. That was some freaky ass shit. Yeah. That guy wasn't wearing pants.
He almost got raped by a Leatherman.
Yeah.
He's not going back there, man.
But Moonlight Mile continues as we see Mrs. Redditch taking a box and like leaving a note on the microwave oven. Going to Buck Cowan's place and knocking on the door. Like, I see the whole cinematic ending here.
Oh man, I am so with you on that. And so, we have a teaser for next issue at the bottom. It says, next issue, a bizarre tale of terror and sorcery you'll never forget. The amazing Dr. Glitter Knight.
Which is the greatest name ever.
Yes.
Okay, it's a great name. Are you familiar with the character, though?
Yes. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Very
divisive character.
Yeah, I love that name. I'm like, God, that just sounds like the fifth member of Kiss. You know what I mean? Like, it just, it's just the coolest name. Dr. Glitter Knight. Any one of those, Dr. Knight, Dr. Glitter, are perfectly serviceable comic book titles. But Dr. Glitter Knight, that's a stroke of genius.
It sounds like a pseudonym that Mark Bolan would use.
Yes,
honestly, which is the first thing that I thought of. Yeah,
AKA the Slider.
I'm like, this, glam rock supervillain, Dr. Glitter Knight. What could that even be? Yeah,
Kiss versus
Dr.
Glitter
Knight. Turns out, kids, you don't want to know about Dr. Glitter Knight. You just not worth your time. Yeah,
we're gonna spend a lot of time with them in the next 10 issues or so.
Yeah, I think Munch was trying to set up a Green Goblin for the werewolf with him.
Yeah,
because he comes back quite a bit, and they left.
Comes back a lot. Yeah.
So, thoughts on this issue before we dive into Weremail?
I loved it. It was more Marvel Comics nonsense. It was great. Yeah, I like Don Perlin's art a lot. My problems with Werewolf by Night, problems in quotations, because I think the whole thing's a blast, and they're just coming flying by the seat of their pants, writing these things. Have nothing to do, have really nothing to do with it. I just enjoy these things. They're so madcap and bizarre, and this one was really funny too. So I loved it. Yeah.
So do you think the jokes in this are intentional? Because I think they are.
I think that the half of what I was laughing at was intentional, and half of what I was laughing at was just the lunacy of something, and that. So yeah, I do think the jokes are intentional. Like the broken glass one that you brought up, I thought that's obviously intentional. I thought it was really funny.
I think that's intentional. I think the ending with the hangman just getting fucking arrested is also.
Yes,
I really think that Doug and Don like came up with this and were cracking each other up with this.
Yeah,
I guarantee.
I agree too. I think it's almost like, oh, we only have 3 pages. How do we resolve this? And it's almost like after the 8th cup of coffee or whatever, like the 7th joint, they're like, what if we just got arrested? And they cracked up so much. They're like, yeah, let's do that. And it's so funny. It's just so funny.
Yeah, you know, the relationship between these two guys, the little that I've read about it honestly sounds like they had a blast working together. And I think it shows, especially on these issues coming up, and just the quality of the art, the funny shit that shows up in every issue. Like they were really good partners. They were great together.
Yeah, I enjoy this a lot more after talking with you guys about it. I enjoyed it okay reading it. This is still, like, for me, one of the low points of the 20s of this run. I always kind of forget it. But after talking through it with you guys, I appreciate it a lot more.
I think the last issue is underwhelming. The prior and the one after this is also pretty underwhelming, but except for the octopus monster thingy. But this one's, I think, a little gem. It's fun. This is some great.
It has an octopus creature in it, but Brad, Taboo is coming back. Not Padu, Topaz. Topaz is coming back. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Right.
The sequences that I like his transformation, the real serene transformation of him turning back to Jack. That's really cool,
Mm-hmm.
And then the fight scene is some of the physics stuff without the caption boxes, like the switch on the flagpole. Like, that's really cool. I love that snap judgment, cause and effect stuff, and then the fight in the warehouse or in the theater where they're all fighting each other. I thought it was fun. It was a lot of action, a lot of stuff going down.
Yeah, I would like to see a director's cut, like a la Blade Runner, where we just take some of those narration boxes away from those sequences.
It would be an interesting project to do to comics in general, to just remove a lot of caption boxes from old comics and see how well they'd read to a first-time reader.
Yeah.
To see how much of it comes across and would read cleaner, probably.
It's an interesting point.
I've mentioned to Jacob on the show before, I think that, the first time through Tomb of Dracula, I read everything, and then the second read through or third, I just stopped reading the narration, and it reads so much better.
Yeah.
Like just enjoying the colon stuff, and just, the dialogue is fine.
Yeah,
but
exactly, yeah.
That ebon-winged nonsense and just the heavy leaden prose is just, it's a drag.
Yeah, I think you could do it to so many superhero comics, and probably come out with something approaching a more enjoyable read for modern audiences or something like that.
Yeah,
I feel like we've gone almost too far in the other direction, though. In the 21st century, with like even thought balloons are kind of considered passe now, and
yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I think thought balloons have value. I think that this stuff maybe not so much, but
it's all form and function. It's however you want to do the thing. But I agree. Like, I think post 1999, 2000, like when Bendis hits big, it's like things have gotten so clean and screenwritery.
Yeah, exactly.
That it's almost, they're not comics anymore to some degree. It's why I always appreciate picking up a Grant Morrison comic, because it's like, for every once in a while, it's like, oh, this is too choppy, because he's so far from decompressed.
Yeah.
It's like, this is almost too choppy or almost like hard to follow, but it's like, because he's trying to use the language that only comics use.
Yeah.
And he's not afraid to be like, oh, okay, I might lose somebody, or this might be a little too verbose, as opposed to very, very, the sort of clean and concise writing that is sort of taken over and makes a comic book like you can read it in 22 seconds too. That's another problem I have. Like decompressed writing, storytelling that I've noticed, and the writing for the trade style has made comics like go by so fast. It's like, oh man, that was, especially with the comics with rotating art teams and stuff like that, where it's not like I'm in it. Like, I don't care if, Paul Pope doesn't put one word in a comic because I'm here for the art too, but when you're reading a title and it's just like, you got that month's issue and it just felt like there were 3 scenes. They were well written, but they breezed right by. And it's really just one little slot of a 6-issue thing. Kind of sometimes feels like, well, yeah, but this old Werewolf by Night issue has like 900 things going on in it in 22 pages. Like, I would pack a little bit more in my buck here. This thing's $5 now.
Yeah, no, I totally agree, and I think I feel like I kind of bash Bendis more than I intend to, because I totally respect the guy, but
so do I.
There's definitely like some like New Avengers, that kind of era of stuff where like I feel like there was, my takeaway is like, wasn't there an issue or two, or it's just 2 stat images of Luke Cage and Jessica Jones staring at each other, repeated over and over again with a bunch of word balloons for like 22 pages, and they have a conversation about how is it safe to have a baby in this environment, and that was the issue.
Yeah,
like them sitting at the table with coffee and tea steaming between them, talking, and it's one image repeated over and over again.
I don't hate Bendis either, and it's not really his fault he had that seismic of a hit, or seismic of an effect on. I guess when we say comics, we mean superhero comics. Let's be real,
right?
Because comics outside of superhero comics, he didn't hit as hard, even though he started out there,
right?
But like, I don't hate the guy. I don't like when people throw him under the bus, because I actually think there's a lot of stuff he's done that's really good that I enjoy immensely.
I mean, fucking House of M is amazing. I love House of M. I love House of M and Avengers Disassembled. Those 2 are some of my favorite of Bendis's run. I mean, in his Daredevil run, obviously.
That's what I was going to say.
Incredible.
In his superhero work, his Daredevil run is something I really enjoy.
Anytime he's going to work with David Mack, and I mean, it's going to be amazing.
I mean, he wrote Ultimate Spider-Man, right?
Yeah. Another thing that I think that was really good.
I think that's a pretty amazing thing, and it pulled in a lot of readers.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I don't like it when people bash him anymore either. And I know, Matt and I, we've had fun, with him a little bit, just being like, oh yeah, it's really talky. His issues have a ton of shit in them. But I think he's great. And he's written enough things that I truly love that, it's bugging me a little bit that when people rag on him these days.
Yeah. So I thought when he moved to DC, that kind of changed, no? I felt like he was kind of spinning his wheels at Marvel, and that's when like the kind of hate was piling on, and then once he switched gears, like people were kind of like, oh, he can actually do.
I'd say he's getting more shit at DC than he ever did at Marvel.
I would agree with Brad.
Toxic fan base really hates him for being a woke guy, so they just won't. They don't let him get away. They rag on him for every little damn thing. It's pretty pathetic.
Yeah, I read his first Superman run. I think it was Man of Steel, and then I read, like the first trades in all of his Superman books, and they're okay. Like his DC stuff isn't my favorite of his stuff. I hear his Legion is pretty good. So I'll check that out, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we'll always have Daredevil. Okay, so Werewolf by Night. Doug, Don, and Vinny. Oh, bye, Vinny. Time will tell. Yea, heed the words, for time will in sooth tell all. So be forewarned and thus forearmed, so to speak. That is to say, you may correctly infer that I bane trying to tell you something. What something, you may well wonder, mumbling even as you speak into your collective beards, for I know you Marvelmen well, I do. That something is this. You guys hate me right now, or I'm okay?
I do.
No, I hate whoever
Please
wrote
go
this.
on.
I hate whoever wrote this letter, though.
That something is this. I'm about to speak, so listen well, do. Ye be the creative geniuses behind you, Werewolf by Night, and 'tis my considerable opinion that all things must pass. And so it has been, and so it shall always be at Marvel. In this eventuality, one can't not expect all titles to remain the same. No, all one dare hope for, dare I hope, is consistently good stories, albeit in differing styles as befits differing creators. In this, it looks as if you might succeed with aforementioned and self-same Werewolf booklet, which I have beside me now. Therefore, attend ye these words, Doug, Don, and Vinny. Strive, always strive, for the best, and lo, things will get better. 'Tis the maxim upon which quality is most surely founded. I rest my case. Harold Aberdeen Harvey, Carthal, Minnesota.
Why do you hate me, Matt?
I forgot that one was in Thor Speak. Sorry.
What did I ever do to you?
And the response is, after all that, Harry, we're really at a loss. We're moved to the choking point by your eloquence and left speechless by the way you've left us speechless. Bravo. Remember, Wolf's people, this letters page ain't nothing without you. You know it, and we know it. So right? Sorry, that was not the one I meant to read.
That was...
Painful?
Somebody wrote that?
Yeah,
and sent
on
that
purpose.
Oh, man.
And said nothing.
You know,
I can't even tell you what that letter was about.
What did they say?
They didn't say anything.
Cook it down.
Yeah. Hey, guys, like the comic was essentially the gist of that.
Okay, I think I meant to read you this one.
Oh.
Can you imagine how intolerable that dude is in just life? If
I
First of all, anybody who's writing into a comic book, period, this has got to be a little bit weird, you know?
Yeah.
Hey, wait a minute. I've had a letter published in a Marvel comic.
I'm just saying. I've written into them too. I'm not excluding myself from that present company. There's a little weird to be a fan of comics, but even more specifically, somebody who's like, I have to write these people.
Hast thou considered?
But then to do it in affectation of Thor speak, it's like this, and you can almost feel how self-satisfied he is as he writes it.
Mm-hmm.
Like just the smug look on his face, like this will get him. They should have never indulged that guy.
With cum stains all over his corduroy pants and his horn-rimmed glasses with Band-Aid and masking tape and all the different broken points where he's been punched in the face repeatedly.
He should be arrested and sent to jail. No trial.
Yeah.
And then he becomes a hangman.
Yes. Yeah. That's who writes that. Yeah.
You know, okay, I'll just read this real quick because I'm sorry about that. I thought this was a different letter. Marvel Mad Persons. I'm going to sit down and write you an old-fashioned critique from cover to cover on Werewolf by Night number 22. Jacob, if you recall, this was the one we had Rebecca on, the first appearance of Atlas, the insane murderer guy.
Yes.
First, then, the cover. Dreadful. Take that as you wish. Inside, I noticed that you're back to doing various things with the credits, other than simply listing them in a boring row every issue. Great. This is what Stanley used to excel at, and it gives the book the feel of a true Marvel comic. The art, however, didn't exactly excite me. Rather than just bad-mouthing it at large, I'll go into details. My intent is not to malign the artists involved, but rather to point up what I think are weaknesses. In the penciling, it occurs to me Don Perlin uses too many standard shots. One must remember in doing comics that the medium is in many ways similar to cinema, and different angles, perspectives, and modes of storytelling are a must to keep viewer or reader interest up. The actual technique of the artwork, as much as one can tell from looking at the inked version, is fine. Vince Colletta is not the right inker for Don Perlin. The brush style just does not suit Don's pencils. Please try someone else on the inking chores. Not to slight Vinny. His inks of a few years ago on Thor were nothing to sneeze at.
Okay, so the guy lost me, but kind of won me back. Because he starts out like, I mean, this guy's a preening ass. Yeah. And then once he starts talking about Vince Scaletta, I'm like, you know, maybe he's got some points.
Yeah.
Right,
I'm with you.
All right.
And here's for the conclusion. And now we come to Doug Munch and the actual story itself. Sigh. I thought it much too evocative of tremendously overused similar plots that have appeared in movies, TV, and books over the years. However, the actual honest-to-earth scripting itself was more than competent. It was fine. My beef is not with the storytelling, it's with the story. I hope all these criticisms can be accepted in the fashion they are given, as inducements toward improvement in Werewolf by Night. Make mine Marvel. P. Boggs Scafford, Effingham, Kentucky.
Wait, hold on.
Can you say that name one more time?
Yes, I'm going to need that name again.
P, the letter P, Boggs with 2 G's, Scafford, Scafford. P. Boggs Scafford.
Does he go by P. Boggs?
I think he works for Boss Hogg, doesn't he? Okay, so
or just P.
Here's the response from, I'm assuming, Roy Jacob. Yes.
From Fuckington. Where is he from again?
Effingham.
Effingham.
Effingham. EFFINGHAAM. Kentucky.
Signed Chester Festington Bestingham from Effingham.
Ballsworth.
Yeah. The third Esquire. Yeah.
Mitch Cumstein. Okay. Rest assured, Boggs, pardon us, but Boggs, that your criticisms are indeed accepted in the spirit they were offered. We hate you. No, actually, none of our tentabulating trio, neither Doug, Don, nor Vinny, ever object to an honest opinion, well presented. In fact, they rather appreciate them, although, of course, it's always understood that they may not entirely agree with them. And lastly, we hope you take our lighthearted glance at your rather uncommon name in the frivolous fashion in which we meant it. Okay, Mr. Scafford?
Yeah, that was a really, really prissy letter, wasn't it?
P. Boggs Scafford?
From Mr. P. Boggs Scafford.
Oh, that guy's got his ass kicked on the playground so many times.
Where is he now, you
think?
A
comic book called Werewolf by Night engender such smug writers in their letters.
It's it's a pattern. We realize.
I must agree with the.
To wit.
Yeah, it's like who's the guy who runs the Actors Studio?
James Lipton.
Yeah, it's like, was James Lipton reading at this time too? Like, there's this. What a weird. You got one guy in Thor speak and another verbose gentleman named P. Boggs Scafford.
I read 2 of 3 letters. I'm not like cherry picking the worst out here, you guys.
Oh, that's God,
bananas. Yeah,
we ran a little long there, but I think it was totally worth it. I had a great conversation. So
yeah, it was super fun.
Yeah, I loved it. That was definitely fun.
You guys reading anything right now worth checking out?
I'm still in Planet of the Apes Omnibus Volume 1 archive, which is so good, by the way. I can't wait to talk to you about it, Jacob.
Oh, I'm really, really excited.
And I'm so bummed I hear that this guy Tom Sutton takes over art after Plug leaves. So
oh, that's so awesome.
I'm not there yet, but God, it's fucking amazing. Did you get the email I sent you of a screenshot? Like I sent it from my iPad. I took a screenshot from my iPad and I emailed it to you, but it doesn't always work. Did you not receive?
I don't know if I received
a picture of an ape talking like Davy Crockett.
I don't think so.
I will take care of it another way.
I'm sold on this comic.
It's so fucking good. It's so fucking weird.
Yeah.
It gets weirder and weirder each issue.
Have you guys checked out Headlopper?
No, I think I've heard of it though. Is it
new? Ish. I just burned
last few years.
I just burned through the 3 collected volumes, and I thought it was a blast. Kind of like I actually don't know.
It's not James Stokoe, is it?
No, it's Andrew McLean. He's the cartoonist on it. It's like Conan and Samurai Jack ish, where it's just going through a completely made up world of its own cultures and things like that. Like no 1-to-1 for the real world, right? Like it's sword and sorcery type stuff, barbarian sword and sorcery type stuff. It's like Conan meets with like a tinge of like Adventure Time.
Oh man,
okay, that sounds pretty great,
but not too much Adventure Time. It's not like
it
just, but it has like sort of the modern humor sense, kind of peppered in lightly. Every once in a while, somebody will have a modern colloquialism or so, and the art style is a little bit on that cartoonier side.
Yeah, I feel like there was in the last 10 years there was this kind of spike in like this stoner underground cartoonist like D&D kind of thing going on, which I
totally
fucking loved, man. Like anything where it's like you took a bong rip and you made up your own little kind of D&D world and just drew the story out. I love it. Like, I'm a sucker for that shit.
It's somewhere in mid-ground, I'd say, like art-wise, like somewhere between like Mignola and Adventure Time. Yeah,
like that's cool.
Headlock.
I really enjoyed it. It's really fun, and you breeze right through it. It's more about the art and the adventure. It's like storytelling through visuals as opposed to like lots of talking. It doesn't really have a lot of that. It's not like a real dialogue driven thing, and it's funny. Yeah, it's good.
No, I'll love it. I can't wait.
Yeah.
Headlock.
Brad, I was going to ask you, did you read, I think the first issue, I know the first issue's out. It's that new series that Grant Morrison did. He did it with a co-writer. It's called Proctor Valley Road.
No, I haven't even heard of it.
Oh, it's pretty cool. I really want you to read it.
Pronounced Harper Valley PTA.
You're right. I apologize.
No, P-Scogs or...
Yeah.
P-Bogs.
P-Bogs or Farthington Ham or whatever the fuck.
Oh, but yeah, I really want you to check this out. So it's almost like Grant Morrison doing like YA almost.
Oh, cool.
It's about like this group of girls who are trying to, so it's the late 60s. They're trying to get enough money to go to a Janis Joplin concert. And there's it's really
Say no
really
more.
cool.
I'm in. This sounds so far up my alley.
I know. I was really shocked you haven't read it. So it's I really liked it, but I wanted your opinion to see if I'm
didn't even know
it
existed.
Path.
Yeah,
What's it called again? Sorry, I'm writing this down.
It's called Proctor Valley Road.
Yeah, I really enjoy pretty much everything he does for the most part. Yeah.
Agreed. Yeah, I think my ratio is like 80% of all of his output I really love.
Yeah, and even the stuff that doesn't quite connect, it's always at least. I never feel like he's phoning it in.
Yep. Totally agree.
No, I mean, because he has like a tons and tons of weird journals that he just writes down like 1,000 ideas a day into, which I think he literally does.
Yeah, I just think they're always a blast to at least check out. I don't love every single series he's done, and I think a lot of times the stuff can be choppy, and it's or like a good premise, and then it just kind of falls apart pretty quickly, because I found his Green Lantern run to be really fun, but very choppy.
Yeah.
I did think the ending ruled. I don't know if you guys stuck with it.
I didn't stick with it. I'd like to. I'll check it out.
I think you can you could miss a lot of it and just read the last 2 issues. It gets so out there. But it becomes like almost shockingly for Grant Morrison a metatextual commentary on itself. I know, weird, but about what is about to happen to the title as it gets past as the Green Lantern as a publishing entity, the mandate to make the character more diverse and inclusive.
Well, now I'll read it because
the end is actually about that happening to Hal Jordan. Like it's almost like the comic book is telling him the world is getting more diverse and doesn't really need you anymore. And then they find a clever way to like tie that into the actual story, but also kind of remind you of like why Hal is also pretty damn cool as well. I thought it was really cool. Yeah. Not always a great title. Not always.
I actually didn't like the art more than anything else. But
yeah, I think we talked about that on a previous episode. How Matt and I we had a hard time with the art, the cover especially.
I like the interiors on the early issues. I actually struggle with the later issues as Liam Sharp decides to get more like really computerized, like almost to the point toward the last 2 issues where it becomes like almost like CGI comes it starts to get really strange.
Well, now I'm wondering if that's part of the narrative. You know what I mean? Like that's all part of Morrison's trip.
Yeah, it might be because it starts to look more computer colored, computer drawn. But I'll send you some screen caps of some of the wilder shit in it because some of the artwork is just bafflingly weird.
Yeah,
but I liked it. Yeah, I thought it was fun.
Do you guys keep up at all? I don't want to drag you out too long here, but with Rick. Is it Veitch? I say Veitch. I don't know how you say it.
I say Veitch.
Like I didn't realize he was still putting stuff out, and he had this these series of books that are all kind of interconnected that are like the last 2 years he's been putting out.
I didn't know that.
Panel Vision is a collective name of the stuff. There's like something called like the Spotted Stone, and
I think I heard something about that on that podcast. What's it called that Ed Piskor,
Cartoonist Kayfabe?
Yeah, Cartoonist Kayfabe had an interview with him that I listened to like maybe a year ago or something, and he was talking about that.
Okay, I just was wondering if you guys checked it out because I like him when I read him, but
yeah, me too. The last thing of his I read was it Can't Get No?
Oh yeah,
like a long time ago. That's like in the that's in like a landscape format.
Yeah,
it's like a spoken word poem, illustrated psychedelic thing. I loved that. It's really cool.
I mean, obviously, you know, his contributions to Swamp Thing are fucking huge, but like I really love you know, as a stoner, I love Abraxas and the Earthman.
Oh yeah,
you know, psychedelic take on Moby Dick, and
absolutely.
The Max Immortal as this weird psychedelic, irreverent take on the superhero myth, and you know, Schuster and you know whatever, like the Superman kind of thing, is fascinating, and they're both out of print, I think.
Yeah.
King? I forgot what his imprint's called, but he's terrible about keeping the stuff in print.
Yeah, I'll have to check out if he's got new stuff going on. I'd look at that. I'd read that over superhero titles. I mean, I really need a Grant Morrison or something to be writing a superhero title for me to like want to go check it out. You know?
Yeah. So yeah, as far as I could tell, I was trying to find Abraxas and the Earthman, and of course, you know, the trolls of the world are wanting me to pay $80 to $120 for the original collected version from Epic Illustrated, I think was what that was originally put in. But I didn't realize he'd put out like 4 or 5 titles and all loosely interconnected, and it's all this panel vision thing. So he's still around and he's putting stuff out in the last like pandemic times. So I'm gonna buy it. It's all like $10 a pop too, like 40 to 85 pages each, and they're like $8 to $10. So
yeah,
I'll buy them and report back.
Yeah, please do, because that sounds cool.
For sure.
Yeah, it's somebody always worth checking out.
Yeah, definitely. Same. Brad, thank you so much for joining us. As always, it's a fucking joy to sit down and talk with you about comic books.
Oh, I wish I could do it every night. It would be the best.
Man. What if this was our job?
I know. What if? That would be, why do anything else? Just
Jacob, if people enjoy listening to this, what can they do to help us out?
Well, one thing that would help out is to go on Apple Podcasts, any podcast platform, but Apple especially, leave us a review. 5 stars we'd like, but if you want to make a case for it, you can leave a lower one. We'll listen at least. We might not agree, but...
If you do, then you're like P. Boggs, Scaffold. If you leave anything less than a 5.
Yeah, don't be like P. Boggs. Please leave a 5-star review. That would be great. And we also love hearing from you. We want to start more of a dialogue with our audience. So we have an email address. What was that, Matt?
That's werewolfbynightpodcast@gmail.com. Send us your mail. We'd love to read it on the air, answer your questions, challenge us. Let us know what you're reading. We love to hear what other people are reading. Next up, we got Werewolf by Night, giant size number 3.
That's right.
And it's the return of Topaz. So I'm super excited.
I'm so excited. I can't wait. It's the most excited I've been for a giant size issue so far.
I'm just bummed that my next appearance won't be until... Normally I don't know when I'm coming in next, but now it's kind of been locked in. And it's really far away, but I am so stoked that we get to do Morbius.
Yeah,
that's right.
Morbius, right? I can't wait. I wish it was next week.
Yeah, I'm excited for that too. I wish that the Legion of Monsters, I'm just rambling here because I've had a couple beers, but I wish the Legion of Monsters issue was better because
right.
You know, you get to see everybody join up, and it's a bit of a popcorn fart, in my opinion. So join us next week for Giant Size Werewolf by Night number 3, Return of Topaz. And, of course, you can stay tuned and hear what Brad has to say about Morbius when that comes up next. Till we meet again at the full moon, furry ones, here's Howlin' at you.